Everybody is on the Epstein files. Please come and join this video. Before I start the video, let me explain who I am because I do know that 90% of the people that see a person on a YouTube channel will flip through their screen. So lots of times people in the morning will look at the Google News. Oh, by the way, I had eyelashes put on yesterday. That's why my makeup looks different. And this eye is smaller than that eye. So if you're wondering which eye to look at, just look at that eye. Okay? Now that we've got that straightened away as far as the optics of the show, this isn't a show. I want to thank YouTube, first of all, for giving me a platform. Now, people bitch and complain about YouTube and the policies and the guidelines, and there are videos that have been taken down that shouldn't have. There are things that should not have been, like, for instance, even on my comments, because I will not change, well, I try not to change my words. I try not to mince my words. I think the reason that YouTube might have strict policies about using a word like pedophilia or pedophile, I know the Sean Atwood channel, the Andrew Gold channel, Heretics are very, very, very careful in the words in which they use to explain very explicit, gross, diabolical behaviors. So they will say PDF file because we all have PDF files in our computers, right? For instance, Coach Colin, I mean, like the word Israel. I mean, nowadays, if you talk about Israel, if you talk about Gaza, you are automatically included in a group of quote unquote nefarious, diabolical people. Just because I'm going to be talking about Epstein does not mean I'm an anti Semite. It does not mean that I'm anti Russia. It's not my fault that Epstein worked for those places, those countries. Allegedly. I am a Canadian with no university background, no college experience, and I've been talking about Lady Victoria Harvey for 5 years. And now it's coming out what a diabolical shit she is. You know, I might smoke marijuana because I didn't believe in conspiracies until I was a part of one. And I will not pretend I am somebody I'm not to please other people, to make the views go up so I can monetize faster. No, I started this channel because a surgeon violated me. I broke my femur. He put nails through my knee, underneath my knee, when I was 46 years old. I'm 54. I am not a fucking victim. And the thing that's bothering me is, I'm sorry if my swearing offended anybody, but I am not a victim. I'm not a survivor. And what is bothering me about YouTube is there are 11 people. This is what I'm talking about. I am sitting here, whether there's 0 people or 1 person or 100 people, and I am making the video the best way that I can with the technology that I can, because people have patience and time for nothing any time nowadays. And because I had the time, because of a wheelchair, because a surgeon kept his mouth shut. Hello, Kane. But what is bothering more than my issue and the surgeon is I am not going to stop talking about the surgeon. I am hiring a human rights lawyer. Well, I can't hire him. He's going to have to do it pro bono if I can even find anybody like that. And I might have been in a wheelchair for a year, and I was like this for a year, and I had Sophie Ann. And for those of you who remember Sophie Ann, she was my dog, and I had to hop on my wheelchair to get on the ground, to pick up her poo, to get up, find my way to the wheelchair, find my leg thing, keep it up straight, and wheel back in. And I did that for 2 years. You want to torture somebody? Stick some nails underneath their knee, miss their knee joint by a millimeter like that. And you know whose hand was in that surgery room that day? It was God. Now, I've missed reading the Bible for a few mornings, and I apologize, but I know there are devils. I know there's evil. Oh, I know. Oh, no. If I go like this, people are going to say, oh, her body language is saying no. You know, when I started this channel 2.5 years ago, I was so quiet and I smoked a lot of marijuana. I met Kane, thank you for staying. I met a lot of nice people to the point where and I'm still not monetizing, to the point where I met Trevor and Melody Moon and Joe. Hi, VZQXSZ. Nice to meet you. And people say this all the time, and I rarely ask people to do this, but if you don't hit the like button, nobody will watch this video. And I've only been on air for 8 minutes and 22 seconds. Hello, S. There are 3 of you here. Hello. Hi. Do you mind hitting the like button? I'm talking about Lady Victoria Harvey, Eyes Wide Shut. Cannibalism, sacrifices. This stuff has been going on since the dawn of time. There's nothing new under the sun. I know you can, may you. Thank you. Because that way the video will get forwarded. I guess what I'm trying to say is because I am a nobody from nowhere, I was injured by a surgeon, I was on the outside of a cover up. I didn't believe in conspiracies. I started reading the Bible. And what the Bible led me to really understand, for those of you that don't believe in Jesus, you've got problems. Thank you very much. I haven't been called beautiful in a long time. It's probably because I have a filter on and I went and I got eyelashes the other day and I turned 54 last summer, so I'll be 55 in um I'm not an intellectual. I am not an intellectual. Hi, Lacey. I am not an intellectual. If you have come here for intellectual rants, go to Cheer Denise, go to Candace Owens, go to Lionel's Nation. I am not an intellectual, but I'm very empathic. I feel things. I know when things are going to happen. And I think it's because I had so much time to sit in that wheelchair and think. So even though that surgeon fucking broke me, he put my life in imminent danger. Well, thank you very much. But you know what? I can bend my knee now. Um, I'm not a victim because I can go on my ballet shoes now. I've got my toe shoes. I've learned to dance. I've learned to balance myself. I've got dance shorts. I'm 55 soon, so I need to keep it easy. So I'm very, very proud of myself. Now, I only conduct lives and shorts. If you can't stay, don't worry. If you feel like you want to watch it, but you have to leave, it's fine because I'm going to continue what I'm going to continue with, whether there's somebody there or not. Thank you so much, Lacey. Um, so yeah, I smoke marijuana because it's better than taking medication. But that doctor not only put me on a rabbit hole of physical pain. Thank you very much, Lacey. I hope you if you subscribed, I just want to mention something to thank you so much, Lacey. I conduct raffles. I started this channel because of the medical malpractice, and the College of Physicians, the governing body, wrote the reason that I had to have 4 corrective operations in a different jurisdiction, and the surgeon didn't say anything. That was the problem. He hid it, and I was seeing a psychiatrist as well. Now this was in 2017. So my eyes are really sore. I need glasses. I've got fake eyelashes on, Lacey. If you've subscribed, and thank you for doing so, I really hope you enjoy the content because it's the content. Um, because basically, this channel was kind of the way that I healed myself because I was isolated. And I'm just going to be, people always want transparency, right? And then if a person is transparent on a YouTube channel, they think the person is being narcissistic and everything, but they want the government to be transparent so we can practically see everybody in their underwear. But when a normal person like me tries to share something that's real, doesn't matter. And it's like what Emily Maitlis said. She had a stalker, right? And do you know how many times I've heard people say, "Thank you so much, Matthew." And you know who I love? Matthew Steeples. And he's an older gentleman. He's around my age. And he does a lot of trivia. And I'm a huge watcher of his. Uh, it doesn't matter to me, you know, but I know what you're saying. But I just wanted to say to Lacey, I hope you really enjoy the content because I would kind of start with my old videos first. And hello, mate. Habitual 3. I would start with the old footage, and a lot of it's really bad, really boring. I had cognitive impairment. I was isolated for 3 years. Then COVID hit. So, and then you can fast forward through stuff too. You don't have to watch all of it. And then I'd start with popular shorts because some of them are really funny. You know, there was a time where I was really funny. Remember the Wizard of Oz? All right. The Epstein files. I work with the equipment that I have. And I have a television. I have a light, which I'm not using because I don't have it here. And I've got a stand that my friend got for me. God bless him. And I've only known this person for 3 months. You know, there's some nice people on this channel. And if you want to find out, I have an easy way to open this YouTube channel now, the station. If you comment in the comments about what I'm talking about, even if it's a thumbs up, like if you don't have time to comment, and if you write how much you love YouTube, great sweater. Oh, do you like that? When you said great sweater, the very first thing that came to my ADHD mind was Andrew M- Mountbatten Windsor when he was on the BBC and he talked about how he didn't sweat. That's what I see the way the brain works, you know? I take things metaphorically because, like I said, I'm not an intellectual. How you did. I have multiple sclerosis and I cannot walk. I am so sorry. I am so sorry, Natalie. And do you know what? This is the thing that I thought about in the wheelchair. And I'm glad you brought me back down to the reality because you didn't ask for MS, and neither did Montel Williams or Sharon Nash, my mother's friend, or Sharon Nash's sister. Hi, hi, Barnyard. I remember Barnyard. Do you go to Sean Atwood's channel all the time? Hi, Ian. I'm on a live right now. But anyways, Natalie. I used to be in home care and I still am. And I worked for a woman and her name was Joan Rutherford. And she lived down yonder in Grimsby and she had MS and her birthday was July the 19th. And I spent New Year's with Joan Rutherford when I was 23, turning 24 years old. And being in a wheelchair is it's awful. And people that say that time heals all wounds don't know what they're talking about. I didn't ask for this to be done to me. Natalie didn't ask for MS. The only difference between Natalie and myself is that I can now empathize. I can't fully understand, but I empathize with that feeling of being trapped. But what I learned in the wheelchair, I don't know if you're in pain, Natalie, but when I was in the wheelchair for the year and a bit, the pain was so severe. I was on like 60 milligrams of hydromorphine a day, plus breakthrough. I had to wean myself off of that medication, which put me down a different rabbit hole. I always believed, and back to your MS, the fact that I hope that you have money and that I hope that and see, this is the reason I started the channel because I felt so helpless when I was in that wheelchair. I couldn't do anything. I could go on and on about this story, but the truth of the matter, it's on change.org. Search my name. I was screaming in my phone. I was enraged. And everybody talks about things on YouTube, but what do we do about changing it? I was so mad at that surgeon and his power and ability to hurt somebody else. I seriously, not last summer, but the summer before, was going to walk to Ottawa. And then I thought, I'm only going to be hurting myself. Barnyard, this is why I enjoy life while I can, because you never know what can happen. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Thank you, X. And from Istanbul, are you sleepy? I hope I didn't put you to sleep. X, what I want to say about Jesus real quick, if you think he didn't exist, then you don't know what you're talking about. Science proves he existed. And you know what's interesting? I never have read the Bible in my life. And I started to read it because of no, praying mantises like Lady Victoria Harvey, where the film, Let's Forget About Me, and this is why I came on. Lady Victoria, Eyes Wide Shut, Jeffrey Epstein, the women he abused, Victoria Giuffre, in my opinion, which segues into Jesus, and people are not going to like this. I think that Jesus was one of many prophets because God is unexplainable. Jesus, we can explain. I'm not a reader, but I can feel things, and there's things you just know. I knew when the pandemic was coming. And I'll tell you that story. If you want to hear it, put a 1 in the chat. And if you don't, then don't put anything in the chat because I don't want to waste my time or yours. Do you want to hear about why I knew the pandemic was coming? Nobody, eh? Kane, V, S, V, V. All right, well, if anybody, you do want to hear about it? Okay. All right. When I was 48 years old, we were in Barrie, but we moved. Thank you, Natalie. We moved from Barrie to Beamsville. Now, why did we move from Barrie to Beamsville? Because my last surgery was on August the 23rd of 2019 at the General, not at the Royal Victoria Hospital. And they took first I had to have an operation with the big pins taken out. It doesn't matter. They took these were from nails, but they did have to put tiny, tiny little pins when they moved the femur bar from the front of my leg underneath the knee to the side of the leg. And I'm so sensitive that I can still feel the bar, and you're not supposed to be able to feel the bar. I can feel it rubbing in my bone. It's not a good feeling. Anyhow, so we were in Barrie, we moved, and I have a photographic memory. I can remember things. I'm more of an auditory feeler. Okay? So we're in Barrie. I have my last surgery on the 23rd of 2019 in August. It's hot. So we moved from Barrie to Beamsville because it does feel weird. How did you know? It does feel weird. Into Beamsville. And if you go on my old footage, like my old footage, like if you start from the oldest, I literally I didn't think anybody would watch this channel. Like I really didn't. I swear. And then there were times where I thought, oh, I'm getting off track. Sorry. So then we moved to Barrie on the 28th of August, 5 days later in 2019. Okay. Now, I left Vancouver in 2006, 3 months before 2007. So I guess I've been here for about 19 years, okay? But I left my husband, and that's a whole other story. It's probably the filter or the light coming in. I'll take retouch off. There. Okay, so then I moved to Beamsville, but my husband still had, I'll show you what he had. He had my coffee table. He had my dining room set, my bike, my books, my dressers, my knickknacks, my clothes. Wait, I'm coming. Oh, is it 10 to 11? I have to work today too. Hang on. Wait, my clothes. He had everything that I owned for 10 years. And that's the truth. I don't know how I survived. I don't. Well, I do know how. It was because of my godmother and my mom. Anyway, so then, are you ready? So then on November the 17th to December the 3rd of 2019, I booked a ticket to go out west to get my stuff. And I was asking my husband for my stuff, like, I mean, hammering him for 5 years. This was before I broke my leg. I remember sending him videos, and my friend Christy, she's not my friend anymore because that's a whole other story, but it's on my channel somewhere. I talked about it for sure. I can keep anything to myself. Like, if somebody says to me anything, I don't say a word. But I talk about myself all the time. And I probably am the funniest person I know, which maybe means I'm a little narcissistic or I have only child syndrome. Mm, I'm not narcissistic. There's no way. There's no way I am narcissistic. Okay, so then I said to my mom, I went into a like a freaking rage. When I mean a rage, I mean full on the floor, banging my arms, you know, screaming like a 2-year-old child that if I didn't get my way, I said to my mother, exactly, Peter Pan syndrome. Not like Michael Jackson, though. Oh, also, Michael Jackson was in the Epstein files. Ha! I knew it! I knew it! I said on one of my old videos from 2.5 years ago, I had in what it was probably like a 2 hour long, and I was probably talking about my leg And I said, I bet you Michael Jackson knew Epstein. Where did all the kids go? I swear to you. Anyway, I'm having a full-blown temper tantrum. And I said to my mom, I said, Mom, do you know when I get feelings about things, how I'm never wrong? And but nobody ever listens to me? Like nobody. Nobody ever listens to me. Maybe it's because I take too long to tell a story or the truth. I said there is going to be a global consciousness change. I said something is about to explode. And I said, if I don't get it back by January, I'll never see it again. I said, and I don't have any money to go buy a new wardrobe, a new dining room set. Oh, and my mother has my bedroom suite. This is back in the day where everything was matchy matchy. I'll show you. My mom is fast asleep and she is not feeling well today at all. Good morning, Mom. I'm just showing, this is my mom and my aunt and I. Yeah, that is my mother and my Auntie Margie and I. Okay, I'll leave you alone, Mommy. No, am I high? Let's see. Oh, yeah. I'm not staying overnight tonight. There's no frickin' way. You're burning up. My mother had the flu the same I do. There, do you want me to bring you coffee? Yeah? All right. Yeah, so we moved here. We moved to Beamsville, and I said, there is something that's going. I said, something's happening. It's a global consciousness, it's a change. And what COVID did is it unleashed the unholy behavior of the healthcare system, which I found very ironic after what I had just been through. So let me get my little cup of coffee. I'll be right back. Are you serious? Are you serious? Oh, okay. Hey everybody, family emergency here. I will be back later on. Um, Before I say anything about Lady Victoria Harvey, she's a praying mantis. She tried to bring down Virginia Roberts. Lady Victoria Harvey, fucking shame on you. You are a reptilian beast. Eyes Wide Shut was filmed in her castle. She's been ripping. She was on James English, Pierce Morgan, and more. She did the YouTube rounds. Prince Andrew. Okay? There ain't nothing new under the sun. I have to tend to my mother. It's 11 o'clock. God bless you all. Have a wonderful day. Natasha, Natalie, Lacey, X, thank you so much. And I hope I didn't miss anybody. Natalia and Jen. Natalia, you know what? You know who a hero is? Natalia. Natalia. Natalia, if you have a YouTube channel, if you don't, start one. Everybody subscribe to Natalia's channel and let's go live and chat. And that's why I started this channel, because I was craving conversation. We project all the time. My mother needs me. I have to go. I love you all. Bye.